I'm Mhairi
and Maureen,
and we're the producers of
The Kitchen Table.
Welcome! Welcome to the kitchen table. Today we've got a host of local ladies to chat with us. First of all, we've got Frances, the lovely Frances.
Hello.
Welcome. Frances is a local lady that works in the community, does loads of work for the community. But you're also a Reiki master, which I like that. And we've got lovely Maureen and me, Mhairi, and Gemma from A Sober Gemma Dilemma, the blog on Instagram, which is doing amazingly. Welcome. So today we thought it was quite appropriate to talk about mental health and suicide and just the impacts of social media and the likes on your mental health. Not just social media, but lots of things. But really the reason we wanted to talk about that today was purely because of the tragic news about Caroline Flack, which I think has affected just about every woman in the country.
Totally. And I was just talking to a lady this morning who said like she didn't even ever really watch any kind of program that Caroline Flack was really involved in, but she still felt that really strongly. She said it's not everything that just on the internet that you read that just makes your heart jump, but this one just hits home for some reason.
It does.
And I think it's got to do with the fact that it's a woman who's considered successful, beautiful, like by all external standards, like, you know, why would she do this? And also young, like, but then when you unravel the whole thing, like, it's actually quite awful. Like, but it's also very standardized. Like, I think it happens to, like, we'll talk about you in the second actually. I couldn't believe you had that story, but actually I have a similar story as well.
No! Maureen's got a skeleton! Oh, spill the beans!
One of many. No, but like, you know, so, okay, we were talking about, so the stories that I've read online about Caroline Flack is the thing that sort of tipped her off the edge was about the CPS, the Crown Prosecution Service, who basically she was charged with assaulting her boyfriend, who I think did something along the lines of cheating on her or something like that, and she flipped, and the police were involved, and then they wouldn't let it go, although he didn't even press charges. So that's a whole other thing. But then she found out that it was going to trial, and so my story with that is I have assaulted my then boyfriend. I haven't assaulted him. It's just, I've said that before, like with friends and stuff. In the very beginning of our relationship, we had a lot to sort out. We had a lot of, he was coming with his demons, I was coming with my demons, and we just had to like hash it out. And we were in London at the time, and you know, you go out and then stuff happens over like during the night, in the evening, you know. And then outside of a tube station, we just had a fight basically. And I just, you know, the rage, we talk about the rage. I had the freaking rage. And I think I went for him. I can't remember if I actually hit him or something. But you know what happened? He protected himself. And someone came to me saying, do you need help? And then I was like, I felt like this whole thing was wrong. Like, because if that person, instead of coming to me and assuming that I was the victim, when I was actually very much the bully, had gone to him and said, do you want me to call the police? And if he had said yes, like, you know, then what happens? Like, we all have, but I don't think I'm not trying to justify it, but I don't think it's not a normal story. I think a lot of couples
No, it's absolutely
at least once. Like, I am not saying this was in any way an everyday behavior, and you know, we grew out of it. I'm not saying you stay in a domestic abuse relationship, whatever. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying sometimes any kind of relationship, but a love relationship is very powerful, yeah. And it brings up like it shakes your very core. And so when it has to do with your very core, we were talking about this yesterday actually, when you feel slighted, when it's actually become very much part of who you are, that tips you over the edge. And whether like the thing is, hopefully you don't really take action over this. You like play it in your head, or you don't go for like, you know, but like.
No, but we do, you know, I think it's fair to say we're all sitting here at this table today and we all know that there are instances in your life where you react and on reflection you go, fuck, I shouldn't have done that, I shouldn't have done it. I shared a story yesterday and I've shared it with you on Instagram as well. Everybody knows that I was married before, and when you identify or suspect or whatever that somebody's cheating on you and all the signs are there, like taking the phone to the toilet with them and sleeping with their phone under their pillow and stuff like that, that shit screws your mind. I don't care what anybody says. I know that we all have a responsibility for our own actions and our own behaviours. I totally know that. But when you're married to somebody and this behaviour becomes part of your what's going on in your life, it fucks with your mind. Was that heartbroken, infuriated, all the emotions, everything came up that was how I felt. And when the story broke of Caroline Flack, and we don't know, none of us know the facts, none of us were there. He was there and she was there. We don't know what happened. The story is, and it is the story, I stress that, that she got up during the night and picked up his phone because she, let's assume she suspected something, saw stuff on his phone, and then basically laid into him, however she did it, right? And he phoned the police and subsequently tried to withdraw the charges, right? So, you know, and I understand that situation happens. I'm not saying her behaviour is right. I think we all agree with that. We're not saying that behaviour is right, but what we are saying is that it happens, and we all have that rage in that moment where you just feel you've got to react. Now, I like to think that was 15 years ago for me, and I've come quite a long way in that 15 years. I've done loads of personal development and holistic stuff and therapy, and I just think now, I don't think, I'd like to say, you never know, because, you know, I do still have the rage at stuff, but, you know, I don't go as far as that. I'd like to think that I wouldn't go back there again. But when the thing broke with Caroline Flack, it just made me think that could have been me. Yeah. It could have been anybody, because we all have situations like that, and it's heartbreaking that it gets to, it's just so heartbreaking that the lassie saw no other way than to take her.
I didn't really follow her. I've never watched Love Island, and I don't really know much about her. I wasn't in the country when she did Strictly. But when it broke, I felt it because I'd been there. I had been in her shoes. Take the fame aside, you know, push that aside. I had been in a situation where alcohol was involved, which was under the same circumstances there, under the influence of alcohol. A situation erupted. My partner, obviously, afterwards, full of regret, picked up the phone for the police. At no point was he in fear of his life, but when you're under the influence of a substance, everything is heightened. He picked up the phone, the police arrived, and I was arrested and taken away and charged right then and there. And the next day, he said, I don't want to press charges. This was an argument, you know. We'd have just went to bed in separate rooms and got up, and this would all been forgotten. I mean, we're going, oh gosh, that was a bit silly last night.
Oh, you may have argued about it.
Yes, but the police were called, and there's a child in the house. So, and I'd only been in Scotland for about an hour and a half. Right, so this was my first time bringing my new daughter to Scotland, to my mum's house. An hour and a half later, I'm in a jail cell. So that was brilliant.
So what happened then? So
So we'd had an argument, and for whatever reason, it just got out of hand.
So you got lifted, but how did you get back out of the cell?
Oh.
I mean, what happened after that?
Well, they were going to keep me in all weekend, but my gran is a queen. She called and she got me out. So this is great. So my grandparents are now involved, and I can't go back to my mum's house because we've got to be separated.
Oh, right. The
So
police
he
did
had to
that.
stay at my mum's house, and I'm at my grand's house where they brought Emmy, and they're like, you need a criminal lawyer. We are going ahead and we are charging you with domestic violence. This is a serious offence in Scotland. Even though my partner was saying, I don't want to press charges, you are breaking up my family. Because I said, if this goes to court and I am convicted of this, I said, you can fuck right off. Our relationship is dead in the water if this goes any further. But we waited and we went to court on the Monday and no, we're going ahead with this. This will go to trial. You need to come back to Scotland. I think it was 8 months or 6 months down the line. It was a good time, so we went back and we just got on with our lives down there. But this worried me, this played on my mind. It got darker. I thought, I'm going to get convicted of this. And everyone back home will know this because it will be in the paper. Your name will be in the paper, and Gemma Acreman isn't Jane Smith. You know? People will know. And I thought, and things crossed my mind, I'll never be able to take my daughter to Disneyland.
I know, because you can't.
I can't get into America with domestic violence charges. And this is a serious charge. And they were coming for me. They called my mum as a witness. They called my stepdad. They called my partner. My partner, you know, he was going to be like a hostile witness.
What happened? Did you get charged?
It went to court. And obviously we didn't want to go ahead with it. And it was dismissed.
But that's
we
how far
had
it went.
It went. I had to drive up through the night and go to court, and we're both, you know. And I had made it quite clear. I mean, that incident could have been the beginning of the end of the relationship, because there was a long period where, even though I had Emmy, I felt like Caroline. I mean, whereas I had Emmy, she had her career, this persona, you know, everything. I'd read that she was worried about the video being released, the police video. I mean, that probably obviously thought, so that's the end of my career. Well, they said they had enough audio of me shouting in the background. They were like, we will get you for this. I mean, I was fucking terrified. I thought, you know, there were dark periods where I thought, I'm just going to end it because
it was the only way.
the only other thing I could think with the Caroline Flack situation is, you know, this, she could have got over this. You know, you look at like Aunt McPartlin, he drink driving. You know, he didn't, thank God, but he could have, in essence, killed a child. He was drink driving, and it's all but forgotten now and all but forgiven.
I know, I think it's fair to say, I thought about that case as well. There's two things I want to say on the back of what you're saying. The first thing is, alcohol isn't always involved. I know that's your story, Gemma, and I totally respect that, but for me it wasn't. I was totally stone cold sober. The story with Caroline Flack, I don't know if alcohol was involved or not, I don't know. Again, we weren't there. There is only two people that know the truth about that story, and only one of them is sadly now alive. So that's the first thing. But the second thing is, I know also that there are men out there that suffer domestic violence. So I need to say that. I just need to put that out there. I know that. That's not what I'm talking about, you know, here today. I'm talking about, as a woman, you know, how it feels in that situation, because I can't speak for a man. We don't have any men here, but we will one day, soon. So, and just the other thing I wanted to say about the Aunt McPartlin thing, 100% agree with you. He got into his car, I don't know how many cars he hit or whatever, he was way over the limit, and he was totally protected by the press. I don't know if ITV had anything to do with that, I don't know, but he was totally protected. When you compare the two scenarios of
male and female as well.
If it had been her doing that, she would have been crucified.
Because Kirsty Gallagher?
What happens with her now?
She had a drink driving one, and I mean, she was what's that, dragged across the coast. She was thrown to the wolves, and she was banned for a long time, and she lost her, you know, everything. But I mean, with Caroline, same with myself, there was no history of violence. They did not need to pursue that. We were not a threat to each other. And there's many a times, and I do understand domestic violence does happen to men and they don't come forward in their times. And yes, the CPS do go ahead, do charge, but I see many times when they don't go ahead and charge men, and then the woman does. The woman ends up dead. But it seems to me, and this could be my bitterness, because I am bitter and I'm still angry about the situation. Like,
understandably.
I hold fucking resentment. And I was, I don't know.
So do I agree with you. I think of Caroline Flack. I was in tears. As lots of people were on Sunday. At various points I thought, oh my God, this is affecting me so badly. I keep going right back to that situation 15 years ago when, you know, I didn't have a history of violence. I was a bank manager and, you know, I didn't do stuff like that. But, you know, mentally it just totally
social media plays a huge part. Social media plays a huge part on it because everything's on them then. Journalism, social media, Facebook, everything wants to know the nitty gritty.
You're right.
You know, they want to know the gossip part of it, the not so nice part of it, because I think, what was it today out on my social media, and it was somebody else again, you know, not suicide, but it was like, we've forgotten the kindness. It's like, oh, fuck me, I'm feeling depressed, you know, and it's like, come on, think about the words you're using, think about the attention that you're drawing, you know, are you really depressed, or are you just fed up?
That's
You
exactly,
know,
So how do you, that's something that I wanted to ask you, Frances, like, so first I want to say, just acknowledge publicly that you've been instrumental in my mental health when I moved here. You know that. But how do you, the thing with, like, when I moved here, there was a couple of, probably 3 very dark months at the beginning because I didn't get the opportunity that I wanted to, and then things at home got really sort of came, I was overwhelmed. I think it got me to 37 years of age to actually understand the symptoms of me getting overwhelmed. How do you identify? Because I feel like we don't really, well, now we're starting to talk about mental health, but how do you, in an everyday life, identify the symptoms of, oh, no, I'm not okay? Like, when does it become not okay? What do you do when then things come out?
I mean, that's totally individual. You know, and there's a bit that I've always said is everybody's got mental health. We've got good mental health, or we've got bad mental health, or we've got mental health illness, which then goes into bipolar, all these kind of things, which then is medically controlled. You know, so we've got to be careful. There's
a spectrum.
Absolutely, it's like any spectrum. You know, there's A to Z. You know, so for me personally, I know my trigger points now is that either if I can feel myself getting quite sort of euphoric and I think, oh, I'm getting into that real happy place, there's something not quite right here, you know, so it's like if you're happy too long, there's going to be the crash.
Right.
You know, so it's trying to keep yourself in that nice happy but no falseness. You know, it's no...
Just a level.
Aye, it's not that, I mean, you can't go about with a grin all day and say I'm really happy because you think, no, you're not him. You know, I know inside I'm not. But it's okay to wear many masks because that's your protection as well. You know,
Right.
But as long as you know what your real mask is, you know, as long as I know, I'm sitting here today, I've got a mask on, of course I have, because I'm not going to reveal the real me, but I've revealed enough throughout the last 10 years and maybe unwell in the last few years giving up my care company for me to know who I am. But that's took to, I'm 60 now, you know, so that took to 57 years of age for my body and my head to say, Frances, when are you going to listen? You know, so it was like 1, hit the wall wasn't enough, 2 wasn't enough, but the third one was by God. You know, and now I know my triggers, and so do the people round about me. You know, my close family. You know, Alan will pull the reins in a wee bit when I go home really fatigued. You know, when I'm that sort of fatigued, or it's like he can even tell by my eyes now. You know, he'll look at me and he'll go, gone up to say you're a bit tired or whatever, sometimes I go to just sleep, going to just let, and it's not. It's because I'm not used to somebody caring for me. I was always a carer.
Right.
I was always a carer. I cared for everybody, done everything for everybody. But that was natural. It wasn't, oh, look at me, I'm the carer and I can do. It was something that just happened naturally. A care company came to me. I didn't go to it. Social work came to me and said, Frances, we want you to take on one of our clients because we feel you've got the ethos and everything around you we want within us, you know.
Oh, wow.
And it grew from there and there. And of course I grew with it and I grew with it, and then it was wallop, you know. But that euphoric and that's
so
sort of,
interesting, because that's not something I would identify as something that would be a good mental health, like, you know, that would be, but I totally get the crash aspect of it.
Well, to me, becoming euphoric is good because now I'm recognising it, and thinking, wow, what's going on? Come down a bit. The excitement.
It's about the balance then.
And it's getting that back down. It's like,
it's like grounding, isn't it?
Totally like that. I do Reiki, you know, and I find myself, if I do too many in the 1 week, and I haven't been grounded enough, and I'm taking on, I take, and it's like, I'm in here without my shoes on, you know, and it's like Mary's saying, keep them on, saying, no, I like wind it knows me, I like my shoes on, and it's that I can feel it through my feet, and I think, this is me now, you know. So that grounding and that protection isn't just for Reiki, it's for everything in life. It's just take that minute to look before you do anything. And
Can I just tell you, Frances brought some props, and I just love that. I just thought that was the good segue into that. So can you, like, what is this?
Well, it's actually the circle of friendship. Yeah, and they're not sexualised, although they sort of look like male, but they're not.
There's nothing.
You know, there's nothing to say male or female. You can get them in 4 or you can get them in 8. It just that one actually came from last year when I was through staying in Edinburgh with my brother and sister. And my brother, we went to a place in Stockbridge, and it's a fantastic wee shop. And he went, oh, Frances, there's something here that I know you would like. But outside was the big one. And we didn't have cars, and I thought, I know a humful lot. You know, that's coming from my back.
Grounding.
Absolutely. That was my first sign to say no. But when I went inside, there was a wee one, and I thought, well, do you know what?
Perfect.
I think I might manage that.
Size doesn't matter.
Well, it does when you're trying.
I don't know.
So that was where that came from, and I thought it was really appropriate. You know, my brother's does this sort of really home in, and well, he's older than us, and I thought it was really, really nice to say, do you know, Henry, you've actually sort of really clocked on what I am, who I am, you know, which is something I don't give away a lot, which I have recently as
But you don't need to, Frances, you know, and do you know what you're saying there? You know, and this is something that I'm going to do Reiki myself. I'm totally, you know, that all that holistic thing for me is a massive factor for my personal development, as I've talked about at TED. But I think it's really important that whatever you do, wherever you are on that spectrum, you know, if you have the help of drugs or whatever, all of that is all okay. But I think it's also really good if you find those things that you connect with, that make you feel better, they bring out the best in you, or, you know, they make you, because I think it's more important what goes on in here anyway than what goes on out there. So, you know, knowing exactly who you are and finding that thing that you connect with. Because you know, when you were saying I know who I am, I was sitting going, fuck, I wish I did. Because I still go, who the fuck am I? What am I doing? Who am I? You know, then other times I think, no, you know, I know who I am. You know, you feel like that, but I don't consistently feel like that.
See, I used to be a reactor, and when I see myself instantly reacting to something, a step back now, whereas before, I think part of that is coming for care and having to, I think women are reactors because we've got so many things that we think about at the same time as well. So, and I think that's where the anger and things come from, is like, we feel we've got to do everything, we've got to fix everything, and we've got to go out there and do it, and if we can, it's, why not? But that reacting now I still react, don't get me wrong, I'm not this,
No, don't ruin the picture! Don't ruin the picture! Yes, yeah! Yes, yeah!
But I question myself now when I react, and I do step back now before I react.
I wish I could do that. I'm very, very quick. Quick to temper, quick to react, quick to judge, quick to like see something. And something will happen and I'll make a big video and I'll watch it back and go, right, 5 seconds ago you thought that. You don't quite think that now. Calm down, take a step back. But I don't, like, even like in parenting, she does something. I'm like,
But you probably, and you've almost said it anyway, Frances, age does play a part in it. The older you get, the more and more you appreciate life. You do. You know, I know that I think about that way more now than I did when I was in my health.
Plays a part
Exactly.
as well. You know, so you can be older and older and not have health and go through life and not have to think about anything. I mean, I know people that haven't had any trauma or anything in their life, and they don't, I know they don't understand what trauma and going through things in life are. They can't, and I'm not saying they can't because I know they have told me. I just can't say know where you're coming from, Frances, because I've never been there, which I appreciate, because rather than somebody just saying words, because words are either mean a lot or they're meaningless, depends on who's saying it and how they're saying it. So, and depending who they're saying it to, and it's a bit like labels and things. You're talking about affairs and things, and talking about all that. I think a lot of that is to do with how it's portrayed out there.
Totally, and that brings us nicely into, because I'm conscious of time, but I really wanted to touch on social media that you mentioned, and labels, because if I was a famous person and that had happened 15 years ago and the papers got hold of it, I would have been labelled a domestic abuser. That's what I would have been labelled. So that would have been it. But also the thing with social media as well, plays a massive part, like you've said, and there are still hundreds and hundreds of people out there that go on behind their keyboard, I've had it happen to me twice, and give their opinion on what they think you are and all of this stuff.
And once it's
they
there,
don't,
it's
there, that's it.
What
They
you
don't
should be,
know you
what you shouldn't
from,
be.
from Adam, and I've been called attention-seeking middle-aged woman, and all sorts of stuff. And what? I'm not me. But you think, but see, if you look at the number of women that do put themselves out there in my age group, there are very, very few. So I'm totally aware of that as well. However, I'm one of the wee bastards that goes, fuck you. The more you say that, the more I'm putting myself out there. But still, I still go through when I get messages like that, or somebody comments. It doesn't happen that often, but it does happen, and it'll probably happen more as we do more and more of the kitchen table. It will happen. Your instant reaction is of you're being attacked. That is you're like, you read it, you absorb it, you know how the mind works. It's there. That's it in your mind. So you then need to work on undoing it. Making it not factual, because it actually isn't, but when it's presented to your mind believes it. So that's social media. The impact of words, I don't think there's a real understanding with the people that sit behind a keyboard, and if there is, then they're just
and I think it's
bastards.
a Scottish, and I don't know, I just know for Scottish and Western, women is like, we don't take compliments easy, we take the aggressiveness and everything easy, because that's in there, that affects us. But when somebody's trying to give us a compliment, what do? We give you a compliment back. We don't take it. Do you know what I mean? If somebody says, "Oh, you're looking great today, Kiss," or something like that, you go, "So you." We don't absorb that. Why don't we absorb the goodness as much as the unkind, the nastiness?
I feel like people who are, say, teenagers now or in their 20s actually have a slightly better understanding of social media, because I didn't have it when I was in high school, and thank God I didn't have it when I was in high school and in my early 20s. But I remember when there was MySpace, I had someone create a profile, like a mirror of myself. And I'm going back to when I was in my early 20s to absolutely savage me. I was a bit thicker skinned then, but my friends were adding it, and it was, I mean, mine was probably a little bit wild at the time as well, but everything that was said, like, I take that and I go home and I lie in bed. Even now, I mean, I put myself out, you do, we all put ourselves out there to, well, to help others and to help ourselves. My Instagram is my therapy. It's my little journal. I don't write it down pen and paper. That's me saying my day. And I know there are people that follow me with the hopes and praise that I fall off the wagon and do something absolutely catastrophic.
That's going to keep you on it.
I mean, absolutely.
I mean, that's how we know each other, right? You know, you do get a community from it. But I think it's also really important to identify when you need to take that step back from it, because I've had to do that as well.
So I came away from Facebook. I found it was
you need to
too
protect
much.
your mental health sometimes by stepping away from it. So it's, as you say, Francis, it's all about that balance and getting the balance.
I think it's also just now when you're seeing after the Cannon flat is the everything's going up with the hearts on it and the kindness and then again it's backfiring. If you're going to put it up, going to think about what does kindness mean to you. Don't just follow because somebody's putting it on yours. I better do it.
See, rather than do that, my view is I just think, who of my friends needs me right now, and messaging them privately. You know, we've got our circle, you know, and it's, to me, it's about messaging your friends and making sure that they're okay.
You know when
that's who you owe it to.
If they're not quite right, you can read something because you know them. You know it's not quite right. And maybe the right forum is not in the thread where everyone can see it. Let's take it away privately, because that's just sometimes what people need.
I think what incidents or tragedies like Caroline Flack's bring to our general awareness is anyone that is hit, it's like, look at yourself and see, who am I being unkind to right now? And just take that sort of, you know, view of like, okay, in my life, where if that's come into my realm, like, I must have been attracting it. So who am I, you know, on any level? Because yesterday we were saying, like, someone who's been unkind to you then comes out publicly saying, oh my God, be kind to people like Caroline Flack, you know? We all wear a mask, and we all sometimes, even unwillingly, are hypocritical sometimes. So I think, again, it goes back to what you were saying of like, look inside. And before reacting, before putting anything in the world, just look inside. Like, we've all made mistakes, right? And it's about making them right, and it's about, I think that's actually spiritual growth. For me, the meaning of life is, you know, leaving it better than you found it, or a better person, a bigger person, more balance, more kindness, more so, like, I think even just in the, you know, in just one day, sometimes I'm not kind to my partner, and I'm lacking patience, or I'm not kind to my daughter, and it's those things. You never know what's gonna stay. You never know what's gonna stick, what's gonna, you know. And when I think about like my childhood traumas and stuff, like, I'm mad for things that probably meant nothing, or were just like for the person who said it, and probably were just, you know, outcomes of their own like ill mental health on that day, or their own, you know, and I let that stick and define who I am. And it's about, I think, sometimes going back inside.
Just recognise that.
Exactly. And again, as you said, it always starts from inside.
Totally, every one of us. So time's up for today, for this week. It flies past. Mental health's definitely going to come back to the table.
And so Francis.
And Francis and Gemma, all our local ladies. But for this week, that's
I'll
us.
be back, will you?
I don't know if I've got a choice.
No, you don't.
I'm only joking. I want to be